everyone, welcome to my channel. We've all had those moments where we feel an overwhelming rush of emotions either at work or at home or when we're in a social setting and we just feel like the emotions are rushing and we just can't handle them. They're almost too much to bear. This usually is triggered by external factors or internal factors, and the common term for such a scenario is emotional meltdown, which is what we're going to speak about today. So it's commonly defined as a person experiencing overwhelming feelings or emotions that usually cause them to hit breaking point at the particular time that they are experiencing these feelings. And some people actually get into uncontrollable crying. For others, it manifests in lashing out or in bursts of anger, and for others yet, it actually manifests by them running away from the stressful situations. But at the end of the day, any emotional meltdown is really an indicator that a person is going through challenging times and just needs some support or a way to sort of handle their emotions. So I'd like to share a story with you about an experience I had of an emotional meltdown a while back. And so just setting the context, at that point I had been without a job for several months and I had already accrued a great amount of debt because I had already run through all my savings, and now I had to borrow money from institutions and friends and family so that I could support myself and my children. So schools opened, I needed to pay for their school fees, I needed to buy accessories for their school supplies, I needed to take care of the things in the house like paying rent, I needed to buy food and so on and so forth. Anyway, luckily I got a job, but the first salary that came through had to cater for the backlog of debts that I had already sort of accumulated, and even then I couldn't pay all of them off, because then what would I have left for my current needs? And so this is the backdrop which actually led to the emotional meltdown that I experienced. One day I was in the office and I received an SMS from one of the people to whom I owe money, and their SMS was less than kind. I do understand that I had stayed with their money for a very long time, and I had been courteously trying to explain the situation to them and assuring them that I would pay back their money once I had it with me. But I think that was my trigger at that time, and immediately I read that SMS, I just felt like a rush of emotions. My head just started swelling, my eyes started tearing up. I felt this big pressure just coming, behind my eyes, and my vision became blurry. My body started shaking. I could feel my heart pumping. It's like it wanted to come out of my chest, and I knew right then that I needed, like, something was happening and my emotions were overwhelming me. There are several triggers that could bring the onset of an emotional meltdown. In the story that I shared with you, my trigger was that SMS asking me to repay a debt which I know I owed, but I just couldn't afford to repay. And so I think that just brought on a whole wave of overwhelming feelings of all the responsibilities that I had at the time and wasn't able to meet. But for others, the triggers could be being overtired, and I know that this is especially true for mothers. You're at home, you're taking care of the kids and making sure that the household is running well, then then you go to work and you have other responsibilities that you're supposed to do there. You also, have a social life and responsibilities there as well. Your extended family is also looking at you. And so just that feeling of, being overtired could actually lead to, emotional meltdowns. Another trigger could be hunger. Yes, hunger. So, they usually say a hungry man is an angry man. And I think it's true, and it speaks to itself. Another one could be just the overwhelming responsibilities that you find yourself having to bear. It could be work responsibilities and there's just too much for you to do and your boss is expecting you to do it. It could be in a family setting where you're the one who's carrying the entire family. You're paying the fees for everyone. You're paying rent for everyone, and that could just be such a big load on your shoulders that could lead you to reach a breaking point and cause an emotional meltdown. For others, it would actually be big life-changing transitions, like moving from employment to unemployment, or losing a business, or even having a failed marriage, losing a loved one. Such big life transitions can also lead someone to have stress in their lives, and can also trigger emotional meltdowns. So just referring back to the story, for me, I was in my office and I had to keep it professional, so I couldn't just afford to burst out into uncontrollable crying or even lashing out at anyone, my workmates or my boss. I had to find a way of handling it there, because I could feel it coming. And so I just want to offer the 3 things that I did that actually helped me in that situation, and I hope that they can help you too. 1. Step out. In my situation, I literally had to get up from my desk and walk out of that space. You can go into a private place, like maybe the ladies' room. The ladies, if you're in the office, or if it's at home, you can step outside your house or go into another room if where you are there's a stressful situation. They usually say that a change is as good as a rest. You won't believe just how much impact that has on calming you down. So once you remove yourself physically from the place that has the trigger that has brought about this emotional meltdown, then you're one step in the right direction. 2, breathe. Take a breath in and breathe out. Every time you're breathing out, imagine you're breathing out your stress, you're breathing out your frustration, you're breathing out your anger or your sadness. And when you breathe in, imagine that you're breathing in positive vibes. You're breathing in confidence, you're breathing in calm, and you're breathing in good affirmations for yourself. This really helps because it kind of brings down the heightened senses and emotions to the level 0, and then enables you to now chart the next step. Step 3, affirm yourself. Tell yourself positive things. I am confident. I got this. Tomorrow is a better day. I'm not what so and so says I am. I'm sad today, but I'm going to wipe my tears and I'm going to forge on. Say things that in the moment will cheer you up, in the moment will instill in you the confidence that you need to quickly go back and continue your tasks. While I realize that some emotional meltdowns might not be as easy to handle as these 3 points suggest, the aim of these 3 points is to enable you to cope with the situation less from an emotional place and more from a thoughtful place. Now, these emotional meltdowns differ from person to person. I strongly advise that you seek professional help or share with a trusted friend or a family member who can walk with you through your challenging situation. Well, guys, that was it for today. I hope that this was extremely helpful. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, bye.